Sup guys, Ludeo here with the ultimate PvP gearing guide. We'll be going through everything in depth, from the embellishments, gems, enchants, crafting gear, heraldries, tier sets. We'll cover it all. So let's just get started with the basics. Where are the vendors? Okay, so here's the vendor for crafting gear. Okay, I'm gonna open the map. Yep, you can see. You talk to this guy, and that's the vendor. Now, I will be going back to this. I just want to show you the first step, where are the vendors, okay? Boom. Second step, tier set, here, okay? You click this. Next step, we have auction house, here, okay? Now, here, this is the bank. We have a vault, okay? The vault is here. I'm gonna open the map one more time. And here we have some daily quests that I've showed in the last video, okay? So, and now let's go back to the PvP vendor, okay? So I just covered all the most important vendors in this expansion that you will need. There we go, we're at the PvP vendor. This red people here. Now, let's continue with the guide. So at first I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks, and that's gonna be how to get free weapon, how to get free 9 heraldries, and how to get free tier set. Okay, so these 3 things. Okay, so let's start with the most important, how to get the free weapon. So what you need to do is gain 2.5k conquest points in a season. There's an achievement for that, so track that, Galactic Weapons of Conquest. This will be available in week 3. Why? Because we increase the cap 525 per week. Okay, so it will be available in week 3. Do not buy the weapon. Okay. One more thing I want to say are daily quests. Weekly quests for PvP are here. So do not forget to take them. You can, get some nice honor and conquest there. Okay, next, very important, 9 heraldries. How do we get them? Boom, there we go. I completed the quest. I have it, Calling all combatants. I scroll down, 9 galactic heraldries. What does this do? It gives me 9 heraldries which I can craft gear with. I'm gonna explain that in depth later. I'm just gonna say how to get it now. So you get it by winning a PvP battle in any bracket. That means BGs, okay? That means skirmish, whatever. Okay, so let's go. Random BG win, 100% you're gonna get it. Arena skirmish win, 100% you're gonna get it. So any of these, 100% you're gonna get it. I tested because last season there was a bug that you would only get it from random BGs first try if you win. And you could do like 20 arenas and win and not get it. But now I've tested on 3 different characters on arena skirmish. On my first win, I've got it every single time. So I think that bug is fixed. Okay, so it should work on any bracket once you win the game. Okay, and you get this quest. You can, come here and complete the quest. Boom, I got it. There we go. 9 in the bag. Next, how do we get the tier set? Okay, I showed you where it is. Now the tier set catalyst you get by achieving rating 1.6k. Okay, so you need to reach 1.6k in any of the brackets pretty much here. Okay, any of these 5, 1.6k, and you will get it. And that's it. Now let's go in depth through everything. Okay, I'm back at the catalyst and we'll be starting with the tier sets. So let me explain how it works. We have a currency called Dawnlight Mana Flux. It slowly accumulates every 2 weeks. So you start with 1. It accumulates every 2 weeks. Okay. And you get the free one I just told you from PvP. Okay, so in first week you can have 2. And then 2 weeks after you'll get another one. Right? And then 2 weeks after another one, and so on. So at the catalyst, what we do with it is we come here, we throw in a purple non-tiered, non-tiered piece of gear. Has to be purple. You can put in PvE gear, you can put in PvP gear, doesn't matter. and then you convert it to a set. Okay? For tier set, there's only 5 items: chest, head, legs, the big ones, the big 3, and 2 smaller pieces, shoulders and hands. Okay? For tier set, you need 4 of them, so you can choose only 4 of them, and the 5th one doesn't need to be a tier set. Okay? So there's also a trick how to get the 4 tier set quicker. So first week you can have 2 tier set, and in week 3 you can have 4 set already. Okay? How do you do that is well, that's kind of min-maxy, but you have to use you have to PvE for that. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm just gonna tell you about it, right? So you can come here to the vault. That's why I showed it to you. So as I said, we have those 2. How do you get the 3rd one? You have to be lucky, so you have to unlock these vault things, you know, by defeating bosses, boom, defeating dungeons or delves. So you can do all of 9 of these, right? You can do all of them. It just increases your chances of getting a tier set piece. Then you loot that piece. Now this won't be available first week. You will get it, like, if you complete it this week, you get it next week, right? So let's say you got it, you got lucky and you got a tier piece, but it's a PvE item, right? It's a PvE item. So what you can do, you loot it, and you go back to your conquest quartermaster. And we talk to him. And there we go, we have these 2 items. This one is for the smaller pieces, shoulders and hands, and this one is for the bigger pieces, head, chest and legs. So you can convert that PvE item into a PvP item. Very nice if you want to min-max. I won't be doing this, but you know, if you want to min-max, if you play one character, there you go. Very good to know, in my opinion. Well, yeah, I wanted to show you a little trick how to see tier set without leaving the game, going on Wowhead. You go to your Warman collection, you go to appearances, sets, then you find the raid, the Void Spire. Okay, this is the first raid. Then we take the head, we're gonna link it in the chat. So we open the chat, left shift, left click, boom, we link it in the chat. And from the chat, we can see it. What's our tier set? Now, deciding is your tier set worth it? You know, depends how good it is. I can't say for every class, but most of them will be worth it, even though in PvP most of them are nerfed by 50%. All like effects are nerfed by 50%, some even more. So it just depends on the class, on the spec. Now I'll be doing guides on every single spec in PvP, because I'm multi-class, I play every single spec, so watch out for that. So, what's next? Let's talk about the crafted gear. Heraldries. Let me explain it to you, okay? So, these are the vendors. As I said in the last video, blood token gear is not needed anymore if you don't want to min-max your stats. Okay, I'm gonna tell it one more time. And heraldries are used for the same thing pretty much, okay? So, why would you take blood token gear if you're not world PvPing? There's like a tier set bonus. That's the only advantage you have, you see? There's a tier set bonus in war mode, warmonger gear, okay? But other than that, if you, for example, want, there we go, example, hands that have haste verse, you can't get them. These have crit verse and mastery verse. Maybe the war mode ones have haste verse. Let's see. They don't, but you get the point. It's not gonna be always, you won't be always lucky, but you can do that because it's free. The other way to do that is to craft the gear, but that is expensive. You're gonna spend probably a few thousand gold, right? If you want to min-max. So how to do that is you come here, you buy these heraldries with honor or conquest. Okay, that's how you craft gear. You buy them. Big pieces cost 5. That's like head. small pieces cost 4, like shoulders, hands, and the jewelry costs 3, or back. Okay, so rings, neck, those things, right? And weapon costs 9, I think, the two-handed weapon. Okay, so you can do that too, but why would you? Like, you can do that late game once the conquest is unlocked, okay? So we have that in a conquest vendor as well. So you'll be spending these 9 on a crafted gear, okay? So we pretty much got 9 of these for free, right? So let me show you how to craft gear now, since heraldries are hopefully understood now. We're going to the crafting table. Here. We are gonna filter by current expansion. Boom. And we're gonna type in Thalassian. Okay. Then we're gonna select our armor type. I'm warrior, so plate. And this is old gear. It's customizable. Okay. So we have let's pick the head. Where's the head? Head. There we go, head. Oh yeah, one more trick. That's actually engineering has a special crafting that you can pick one stat. You see, every other has 2 stats, like you're gonna do haste mastery, for example, haste verse. But with engineering, head, and I think there's one more piece, and feet, you can pick just one of them to have it doubled, right? Okay. For example, I want 55 mastery, right? Instead of halved with some other stat, right? So that's a nice trick to know. So let's look at the head. There we go. It's gonna be item level depending which heraldry we put, right? So these ones, the blue ones, are honor, and they're gonna be the same item level as the honor. Then we have the purple ones, they're gonna be the same item level as conquest. Okay, so boom, we need to put them in. We need to get these materials from the auction house. I showed you where it is. Now you could click track recipe so you don't forget what you need, right? And then we have these optional regions that you want to put in, right? And those are embellishments. I'm gonna go through them a little bit later in depth. And missives. Now embellishments you can have only 2. Missives you wanna put, I mean you have to put on every gear, so you know which gear, which stat you're gonna get, right? So for example, we have here Missive of Aurora. That's gonna give me a verse and haste. If I wanna have mastery and haste, I'm gonna get Fever Flare, right? So with the missives, you're choosing your stats. Embellishments are kind of empowering your gear, kind of. And you can have only 2, right? Now, one important thing is materials, rank of quality of materials. You can see we have silver and we have gold. Quality of materials does not matter, okay? It doesn't matter. It does matter to the crafter, okay? So if you put higher quality, it will be easier for him to craft, which means it will be either cheaper for you or it will be higher rank item. But the rank doesn't matter because in PvP the rank is set already, right? Your item level gets upgraded in PvP situations, so the rank of your items don't matter when you craft them, because only the green text matters. What it says here increases the item level to minimum of, right, X item level. Item level above that doesn't matter. Okay? Okay, so let me simulate how to do it actually. Let's buy something together. So let's say I want to buy a wrist. I selected armor plate, wrist, Thalassian, boom. We have engineering ones and normal ones, right? I'm gonna select the normal ones since I'm not an engineer. We go here, I'm gonna track the recipe. Okay. So I need these 3 ingredients. Okay. Going to the auction house. So 3 of these. 1 of this. I'm gonna buy the cheapest one because I don't care about the quality, right? Doesn't matter to me. Again, I don't care. Boom, 1. Now, missive. Current expansion. So Thalassian missive of, let's say, there we go. Harmonious. Let's buy this one. Boom, 1. And what was the, I don't know. One of the embellishments. Where is it? This one. There we go. Lining. That's the embellishment, right? So let's buy one of these. Okay, I got all the ingredients. Let me show you how it's done now. Oh, well, I fucked up. I bought... It doesn't matter. It's gonna be enough. Okay, so let's do it again. Okay, I'm gonna apply the purple ones because I want it to be conquest. I'm gonna apply embellishment. I'm gonna apply missive. And I'm gonna say no to crafter, thank you. And I'm gonna tip him, I don't know, 1k gold. You know, you can do whatever you want. We view similar orders, let's see. No orders found, doesn't matter. And that's it, you just place the order after that. Now, there's difference, you can do public order. You wait for someone to craft you. Or you can do a guild order. Or you can do personal order and send someone from the trade chat. So you can, you know, say in trade chat, hey, I'm looking for blacksmith if I'm looking for plate, right? Can you craft me these wrists? And then you send him the same, like literally all of this the same as a personal order. The only difference with the personal order is you can choose quality. So I can say, hey, I want level 5, but for level 5 you'll have the more quality ingredients. That's the only difference I was telling you about, right? So for this it's probably gonna be like level 3 or 4. But the problem with public order, if you care about PvE item level, is you can't choose this. So there's high chance of me getting a 2, you know, quality 2. But in PvP it doesn't matter. It just matters if you're doing PvE stuff, right? So let's get to embellishments. Guys, if you're enjoying the video and it helped you out, please drop the like and the subscribe, because I will be doing class guides for every single class in the game within the next few weeks, since I multi-class and hold the record for the most specs above elite. And there we are. Let's get going with the embellishments. So as I said, you can have only 2. Now your gear will revolve around what's your best embellishment for your spec. Okay, we'll be covering that too in spec, guys. Now, armor, jewelry, and weapon have different embellishments. Okay, so let's check that out. Okay, so for example, Blessed Pango Charm can get covered by armor, jewelry, and weapon. Primal Spore Binding and Devouring Banding is covered by weapon and armor. Okay. Stabilizing Gemstone Bandolier is covered by jewelry and armor. But here we have 2 Arcano Weave lining and Sunfire Silk lining that are only unique to armor. Okay. Now we have a unique one for the jewelry as well, which is Prismatic Focusing Iris. Okay, and we have unique ones for the weapons, which are Dark Moon Sigils. Okay, so that's Blood, Hunt, Rot, and Void. Okay, so now let's talk about which one is the best, because you need to revolve your gear around. Obviously, we can forget about the weapon ones until the future, because you'll get a free weapon and it's kind of a waste, right? So we're not gonna be looking at these anyway, right? Now in the future, we don't know yet, since no one is gonna be buying these. These could be best in slot, but we don't know that yet, right? So in the future, you might be wanting to have embellishment for a weapon, but let's not do that yet. Okay, so let's go back to the armor and jewelry. Let's start with the jewelry. Okay, so what do we have here? So if you want to have jewelry, this is the only unique one for jewelry. Okay, it's okay damage, but nothing special. Okay, then we have stabilizing gemstone bandolier. It increases just doubles the power of your gemstone. If your gemstone gives you 15 versatility, it's gonna give you 30, right? Very simple. This is just arcane damage. The problem here is it deals only 1% additional damage per different color. Doesn't seem that strong, right? And then we have the Blessed Pango Charm, which works on everything. So this one is good for the healers. Is it the best one? Supposedly it's one of the best ones. Okay, now let's go back to the armor, and we can talk about that there as well. So, oops, this is the engineering. We're not gonna enter twice. Okay, so we have two options for healers: Arcano Weave Lining and Blessed Pango Charm. So one of these two will be the best for a healer. Now, which one is more powerful? That is unknown yet, but I'll be doing guides, as I told you, and we'll cover that too, so don't worry. So one of these two will be for the healers. Now, for the DPS, Primal Spore, unfortunately, is not looking that strong. Currently, Devouring Banding is looking one of the best, if not the best. Okay, so this is the top contender. This doesn't look that strong either, especially now when we don't have full gems. This and this, unique options for armor, look solid. Now we have to look at the numbers. So in my opinion, these three are contenders for the best one for DPS, and these two, so Pango and Arcano Weave Lining for healer, and for DPS, Devouring Banding, Sunfire Silk Lining, and Arcano Weave Lining. In the future, the weapon ones might be better, but we will see. Now, I don't know which one is the best yet, but we will cover them in the guides. So, I'll give you the top contenders. You can experiment a little bit with it, or you can check some, guides online. But then again, it's first day, second day. It takes some time to, so don't get too invested in them. I'm just gonna say that, okay? Okay, we are at the auction house, which means enchantments. So, one thing before we start, mark the current expansion only, because auction house is kind of buggy, so that's my recommendation. Now, what do we have this expansion? Because it's not the same like the last one. So, we have a head enchant, we have a shoulder enchant, we have a chest enchant, we have a leg, a feet, finger, and weapon enchant. That's it. So let's get into it and break them all down. Now, I will categorize this on my own, kind of, just for you to understand it better. I'll try to. It's kind of stupid and complex, but let's try it out. So, we have a normal version of enchant, and we have empowered version of enchant. And then we have qualities on those two versions of enchants. So, for example, normal one has silver quality and gold quality, and then the empowered one has silver and gold quality. So it's kind of one enchant with in 4, you know, different rarities. So the bottom one would be the normal silver, you see, Blessing of Speed, then silver. Then we have Blessing of Speed gold. Then we have even stronger Empowered Blessing of Speed silver, and then we have Empowered Blessing of Speed gold. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. Now we already had enchants. What do we have here? We have speed, okay, we have leech, and we have avoidance. So what is the best to pick? Avoidance, no, because this is a tank stat for PvE. It just reduces AoE damage, nothing else. So it's between leech and speed. Now 95% of the specs will pick speed over leech, because leech is very minor in PvP and it's nerfed. Like leech gives you back the damage you deal in like self-healing way. Now the leech will pick, you know, probably a demon hunter. Everyone else will be picking speed. Why? Because let's imagine you're a warrior, you're chasing a hunter, you want to catch him. Like the point of, you know, you have to stick to them, so you need speed. Let's say you're playing a hunter, you want to have speed because you want to outrun the warrior, right? So that's the philosophy there. Okay, so let's see what you have in shoulder. Boom, same thing again, but they named it differently. Now a normal and empowered version are not called normal, you know, name and then empowered. For some reason they didn't keep it consistent. It's stupid, I know, it gets complex, but it is what it is. So in this case, Flight of the Eagle is the normal version, and Akil Zone Swiftness is the empowered version, as you can see. Silver gold, yeah. So then again, we have speed, we have avoidance, and we have leech. Okay, same goes for the head. You're gonna pick the same as the head pretty much, right? Now which ones will I be picking up? I'll be picking up the normal gold versions, because as you can see, they're cheap, 130 gold compared to these crazy prices, 14k, 15k, 18k, you know, for speed, or, you know, who cares? It's expensive, it's min-maxi, but if you're, you know, a WoW billionaire, I mean, get the most expensive version, I guess, right? Okay, so what do we have for chest? For chest, it's different. Once again, we have only normal version, no empowered versions, right? So again, they're not consistent. We have normal version, silver and gold. Okay, so as we can see, strength and stamina. Then we have intellect and mana. Then we have agility and speed. Okay, so if you're an agility user, it's kind of obvious, you're going to use this. If you're an intellect user, you're going to use this. If you're a strength user, you're going to use this. But then again, we have a special one, which increases your primary stat by 50, but not giving you the secondary stats that these do. So this one gives you secondary stats of stamina, this one of mana, and this one of speed. So which one is the best? I think this will be better for example, maybe stamina one, and speed is pretty good. So depends on the class. Some might prefer speed, some might prefer this. For the casters, this will be better for the healers, definitely. This will be probably better for the casters, because you won't be mana hungry, you know? Okay, so let's cover the legs now. Boom. We have weaker version, again normal version, and more powerful version, empowered version, right? Same as head and shoulders. So the weaker version is Thalassian Scout Armor Kit for agility and strength, and weaker version for intellect users or casters is, and healers, Bright Linen Spell Thread, and the stronger version is Arcano Vive Spell Thread and Sunfire Silk Spell Thread. So if you're a caster, probably you're gonna buy this at the start because the other ones are expensive, but once the prices drop, you're gonna be choosing between this for casters and Arcano Vive for healers. Okay, then for melee strength or agility users, you're going to be buying this at the start probably, and then once the prices drop, you'll be going for Forest Hunter for everyone pretty much, because this is for tanks. It's giving you armor, and that's not that big in PvP. Okay, now feat. Let's see what feats has. Again, 2, so no empowered versions, just gold and silver. So same as head and shoulders, it's just speed, avoidance, and leech. We're gonna pick speed. Okay. Now finger has a lot of options here, and it has actually cheap versions, so normal and empowered, and silver and gold. Okay, so I mean you kind of figure it out at this point, right? So I don't have to go too much into it. So you want to get probably for the rings you might go with the empowered version gold, because you won't be changing rings a lot. So it's either gonna be haste, verse, mastery, or crit. So as you can see, this is haste, this is verse, this is crit, and this is mastery. And we have a special one, this expansion, which is this one. Eyes of the Eagle increases critical strike effectiveness by 1%. Interesting. So if you're going for the crit, but almost no one does in PvP, this one might be the best. So for PvE, this one is probably the best. For PvP, it's probably going to be versatility, haste, or mastery. Okay, because crit is nerfed in PvP. But if you're a spec that prefers crit, probably this one will be better than the you know, this like the crit one. I don't know where it is anymore. This one. Okay, and then we landed the weapons. A lot of enchants. So here we have again only silver and gold quality, no empowered. Oh, enchant weapon. Don't buy a tool. Don't buy a tool enchant. Okay, so what do you have here? We have a strength, so a main stat. Okay, then what else do we have? Let me just check it out. So this one will probably be just for main stat for all across the classes: agility, strength, intellect. This one, acuity of Rendore. Then we have the arcane mastery. It gives you a secondary stat on a proc. Okay, then we have one for the haste. We're gonna have one for the verse. There we go, and we're gonna have one for the crit. There we go. And then other than those, we have a dot one, a burn one. So Phoenix Fire inflicts dot damage over 10 seconds, then, you know, does some damage. Then we have a bleed one over 18 seconds. That one was over 10. So this is a longer bleed. Then we have one for the tanks, because it gives you barrier against the next attack. Then we have one for the healers. Your healing spell's ability calls to grant the target you heal a barrier. Okay? So which one will be the best for the each? Well, we don't know that yet. Not much testing has been done. But obviously full healers, this one is the contester. And any of the stat ones could be, right? For the DPS, it could be any of the stats as well. So versatility, haste, mastery, or the primary strength, or even the bleed, and this one. So I don't know yet which one is the best, but it will be in the guide. The guides will be very soon. Next week I'm starting with them. Okay, so I'll look into detail which one is the best. And that's it for the enchants. Hopefully you understood more, and let's get into the gems. Okay, first things first, gem slots. We have 6 gem slots. 3 on the jewelry, 1 neck, 2 rings. These are free. You don't have to buy them. pay for them. Usually there were 2 each, now there are 3. I don't know if it's gonna stay that way, but that's how it is now. Now we can buy 3 more extra with galactic jewelry settings. You can see used on helm, bracers, and belts. Okay, so we can have 6 in total. So waist, head, and wrists. Okay. Now, how do we get this? We need 5,000 honor plus 3 infused heliotropes. Here are the infused heliotropes. You can even buy them in an auction house if you don't have honor for them. So, either you buy 3 of these, okay, plus 5k honor, which is 7.5k plus 5k, meaning 12.5k for 1 gem slot. We need 3 of them, right? That is how much? 37.5k honor in total for those 3 gem slots. So we are maxed gear, right? Or we can buy 9 of these off auction house and pay 15k honor. And then we have all the gem slots, okay? So let's get into the gems. Okay, we are back at the auction house, and let me explain how the gems work. Then I'll tell you which one is the best, okay? So first we have unique gems, okay? These are the unique gems. You can have only 1 of these. Then we have the colored gems. So these will be the rest 5 gems, right? You have 6, 1 unique. You're gonna put 5 of the colored gems. Now, qualities of the gem. We have again silver and gold quality. But as you can see, we have you can see by the font color, we have green and we have blue. The blue ones are superior, right? So then we have again the best one is blue gold, then we have blue silver, then we have green gold, and then we have green silver, okay? So each gem, you can see by their name what they are, okay? We have lapis, the blue gem, that's the versatility gem, okay? We have the amethyst, purple gem, which is a mastery gem. And we have the garnet, the red gem, looks orange to me, but it's a crit gem. And we have the peridot, the green gem, which is a haste gem. And then they are supplemented by a secondary stat depending on the name. So for example, peridot, which is a haste gem, it has versatile peridot, which means it's gonna be haste plus versatility. Then we have masterful peridot, which is gonna be haste plus mastery. Then we have deadly peridot, which is gonna be haste plus crit, right? Makes sense. So since we explained this, the blues will have the flawless name, right? Everything else is the same. So that's pretty much it. We broke down the gems. So let's talk what's the best gem now. So first thing, we want to get the unique gem. We want to get 1 unique gem. We have 3 of them, PvP ones, and you want to get a PvP one. So for casters, we have a cognitive heliotrope, cognitive, or called precog. So what this does is, you can see it gives you a little bit of primer stat, but if the enemy fails the kick, so let's say you're casting a chaos bolt, and you fake cast the chaos bolt, so he kicks you into nothing, you know, he just kicks you while you have this gem and you're not casting anything, you will get a buff called precog, which for 4 seconds it makes you immune to kicks. Very useful for the casters, okay? Then we have enduring heliotrope. Again, primer set plus 5% damage reduction when crowd controlled. Very self-explanatory, I think, right? If you're in CC, you're gonna have 5% damage reduction. Good for most non-casters, right? So that's a defensive option. Then we have the offensive option, which getting snared increases damage or your next attack by some amount, right? So this is like the most offensive option, but it's kind of weak. It's, you know, per stack. I'm unsure how many stacks you can get, but it's not that strong. So I've seen just few people run this at some point. It's just depending how high the number is, but you won't be running this. 99% of the time. If you're a non-caster, you'll be running Enduring Heliotrope. If you're a caster, you're going to be running Cognitive Heliotrope. So that's one gem. Now let's talk about the other 5. So you're going to be running Flawless because that's better. And we're going to look at the gold quality, right? So it just depends which stat is the best for your class. So let's say you want Mastery as the main stat, right? So you're going to be running Flawless, Versatile, Amethyst. I mean, you need some versatility in PvP, right? So you're going to be running Mastery plus Verse Gem. Yeah, in the, I don't know, Season 3, when we are over-capped in stats, you'll probably maybe be running, you know, Mastery plus Haste, because you already have so much versatility. But now when we are all on low versatility, you'll probably be jamming versatility as a secondary stat. So, for example, if you want to run Mastery, Flawless, Versatile, Amethyst, perfect. 5 of these, plus one of the unique ones, and that's it. And we broke down the jamming, broke down everything. That's the full complete guide for PvP gearing. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, drop the like and subscribe. And guys, thank you for watching. I will be starting the guides very soon. I still haven't played my first game yet, but I think it's time now after I sleep. Okay, peace out and thank you again.